The coastal region of Aquitaine in southwestern France is known for its sand dunes, fine Bordeaux wines and delicious seafood. This family-run store in Arcachon sells all kinds of raw and cooked fish, molluscs and crustaceans. Many customers who come into the shop ask for the fish skin to be removed.
We take the skin off the fish because in general people don't eat it, especially when cooking fillets. So the skins go in the bin. We don't use them for anything.
But one woman's trash is another woman's treasure.
Ouais. Ah, c'est adorable. Merci beaucoup.
A few years ago, local entrepreneur Marielle Philippe began using fish skins to make leather, an ancient Nordic tradition she picked up from her mother.
In Aquitaine, there's a big seafront. There's the Arcachon Bay. A lot of fish is consumed here. There's aquaculture, especially trout farming. So why not upcycle the waste from this sector, the fish skins, and transform them into leather?
From her small workshop, she harnesses raw skins discarded by fish shops and wholesalers.
The process is quite long. It takes about 2 weeks to go from the raw skin to dyed and finished leather. The skins are soaked several times, going in tanning and colouring baths, and then undergo a mechanical treatment. Flattened and stretched, attaining better flexibility and a certain finesse. During the process, we only use crush plants, no other chemicals, so it's quite environmentally friendly. It's the same as classic leather. The only difference is there's a scaled pattern, just like ostrich leather, crocodile or snake leather, which also has a pattern. So it's in the category of so-called exotic leathers.
Today, Marielle sells her marine leather online and supplies small-scale local manufacturers. Thanks to support from the European Maritime Fisheries and Aquaculture Fund, this innovative upcycling of discarded fish waste has given rise to a successful business. Like other kinds of exotic leather, tanned fish skin can adorn a wide variety of trendy apparel, accessories and footwear.
Baby shoes, women's shoes, starting from a small card holder to large pieces of luggage, a handbag, a small pouch, a bracelet, a keyring. It's endless. I find that fish skin has something precious and original about it, while being very respectful to the environment. I'm proud to be able to work with this raw material. Very proud.
The success stories of women like Marielle tend to stand out in the male-dominated fisheries sector. In Europe, less than 4% of workers on fishing vessels and under a quarter of those in aquaculture are women. But here on the Greek island of Kefalonia, a female-led aquaculture company is stemming that tide. Led by Lara Berizzi since the late 1990s, Kefalonia Fisheries has increased its production 30-fold. It also makes a point of keeping things sustainable. The company rears sea bass and sea bream in floating cages for customers all over the world.
A majority of our management team are women. We have some fantastic women in our R&D, our sales, our quality control, our HR department. Basically, I think we're all women except for in 2 departments.
While men at the firm still tend to do more physical work like feeding the fish or diving to inspect the nets, women play key management and administrative roles. Embracing that diversity, the company also makes it easier for its employees to balance work and family obligations.
We are very flexible in terms of maternity leave and working remotely. If someone says to me, listen, I have to leave a bit early because I have to pick up my child and then I'll work maybe a little bit later or on the weekend, that's perfectly fine for me.
Working at sea can be physically tough, especially during winter, but that didn't stop Katerina Katsika. She's been rearing fish in cages for 30 years and is now in charge of making sure the population stay healthy. Every year, her team, mostly young women, vaccinate 1 million small fish to protect them from disease.
In winter, it does get very cold and choppy at sea, but I think the women who choose this kind of work do enjoy it. It's nice to be working so close to nature when you love the sea. I don't think they see any problem in that. They like it. You do need physical strength for some of the tasks, but not for all of them. So not all work here is only for men. A woman can do just as well.
Research is a vital aspect of the aquaculture business. The production is reliant on the hatchery, which is both a laboratory and a farm. Evie Abatsidou manages the hatchery at Kefalonia Fisheries. With her colleagues, she oversees the broomstock, monitoring the growth of young fish from tiny eggs to larvae to juveniles. The fish stay in the hatchery until they are large enough to be moved to the sea cages.
We select the best fish, the fast grower fish, with the better shape, and we use them to be the parents for the next generation. Hatchery procedures are very scientific, they have to be very precise, and the work has to be very careful. Women are very good on this.
The company's female staff play a leading role in quality control and, typically for the fisheries sector, process and package the final harvested product. This feminisation of the business at all levels, however, is seen by the industry as a standard to follow. The Hellenic Aquaculture Producers Organisation, which represents 80% of Greece's aquaculture sector, runs outreach projects for young women. The goal is to dispel misconceptions and encourage more women to take up a career in the industry.
We're trying to introduce in schools knowledge on aquaculture. We do seminars, write articles on women in aquaculture, and present to women the different paths, career paths they could take if they wanted to join this sector. It's not just packaging and being on the water all day, but they can be engineers, researchers, scientists, food specialists, and they can even be captains if they want.
Achieving gender equality will take time, but the fishery industry is slowly but surely drifting away from the outdated stereotype that this is a sector only for men.